Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. This morning we're going to do hamburger buns. I have a lot of people ask me about my hamburger buns when I take pictures of them. They are the best hamburger buns you'll ever eat, and they're not that hard. They're very, very easy to do. You know, it'll take you a couple hours because of the rising, but they're so simple, and you'll never have a finer hamburger bun. You'll never eat a hamburger on a better bun nowhere. They're just the best hamburger buns that you could ever think of having. You know, I used to do all my breads in a bread machine until I made these hamburger buns. It was the first dough that I actually worked with, and I've never used my bread machine since. I don't even know where it is. It's out there in my garage somewhere, but I don't use it anymore. I do all my breads by hand or in my KitchenAid. I don't need it by hand, but I do it in my KitchenAid here. So we're gonna go through this. Oops. We're gonna go through this, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is. Okay, this is my mixer bowl over here. If I can move it back over this way a little bit. I'm not sure. I'll move you around when we get ready. But anyway, in this bowl, we're going to put 1 cup warm water, anywhere between 100, 105, but not over 110. Okay, we're gonna put in, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna need for this. You don't have to write it down because it'll be listed below. But you will need 1 cup warm water, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, 1 large egg at room temperature, 3 tablespoons melted butter, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, and 3 1/2 cups of flour. And then at the end, you'll need 1 beaten egg and some sesame seeds and or poppy seeds. We use both sesame and poppy, but whatever your preference is. And you will bake them at 375 for 15 to 17 minutes. Okay. So we got a cup of water in there, and we got a little stir. We're gonna put in our, got a little extra here, 1 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. Looks like my bowl might have been a little damp. Sorry about that. We're gonna mix that up. Gonna put in 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. We're gonna put in 1 egg. Mix that yolk up. Put that in there. Egg. 2 tablespoons of sugar. Drained these off, but maybe I just didn't drain them up. Okay, and it was 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Get all that in there. Okay, now I use unsalted, but you can use whatever you have or whatever you prefer. But we use unsalted butter here. So we have all that in there. So we have our warm water, our yeast, our egg, our melted butter, our sugar, and our salt. Okay, so now we're ready to do our flour. So make sure this is really mixed up. Now we're gonna pour in half of our flour in here, and we'll mix it up as best we can. As you can see, we're just gonna mix it up with this. Okay, then we're gonna pour in the second half. And we're gonna mix mix it up as best we can till we see that we can't really do it much anymore with the spoon, but we have it all off the sides. I just don't want any on the sides because then I gotta stop and get back in there. Okay, so I've got all that done. So it's just to where we can't mix anymore. All right, so we're gonna push that all down. Push this off of my spoon because we don't want to waste any of this goodness. This is really goodness, I'll tell you. When you have one of these buns, you're just gonna go, wow. You can't buy nothing like this. So now I'm gonna put this on my mixer. I'm gonna put my dough hook on. Now what we're gonna do here is I'm going to blend this, I'm gonna knead this on my second setting, number 2, for 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna turn it off and let it rest for 2 minutes. And then I'm gonna knead it again for 7 minutes. And sometimes about the last minute or 2, I do turn it up to a 3, but you don't have to. If you forget, don't even worry about it. It's no big deal. So 2 minutes, rest 2 minutes, and then 7 minutes. So I'll see you back here. Oh, and I'll show you the speed on a number 2. Well, let's bring this up, I guess. That's a number 2. So you can see that that's pretty good. So 2 minutes, let it rest 2 minutes, and then 7 minutes. And I'll see you back here. Okay, I wanted to show you what let's see, was. I'm going to show you what the dough looks like in there. So this is ready. So now what you're going to do is stop this. Okay, take my dough hook off. Let me lower this down. Put my dough hook. I have a glass bowl here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray this really good. That's about gone. And then let me wet my hands a little bit. Wash them up. Okay, we're gonna take this dough out of here. Okay. Get it, and then we're just going to pull it around into a ball, top of itself, pull it under. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw it in there, turn it around, make sure it all gets oiled up. Okay. All right, then we're gonna take some saran wrap. I'm gonna cover it. Nope. Grab that over. Okay, we're gonna cover this. And we want this to double in size, so it'll probably take about an hour. So we're just set this, you can set this in front of a window, or you can set it in your oven with the light on. I'll probably just go ahead and put it in my oven right now with my light on. And that will do it for 1 hour. So we'll see you back here in an hour when our bread has doubled, and then we punch it down and we'll start making our rolls. Talk to you in an hour. Okay, here we are back. As you can see, it has doubled in size. So now we're going to take this saran wrap off. Sit right there. we're going to pull this out. I'm going to wash my hands here. I'm going to handle this. All right. I don't want to really that wet, just a little bit. It's good. What's that? Okay, we just washed our hands. We're going to punch this down. I love to punch down. Okay, we got it all punched down. Now we're just going to put this into sort of like a rectangle, just so you can like evenly cut them out a little bit. Okay, now we're going to cut this in half. Okay. And then we're going to cut this into fours. Okay. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that kind of gives you a somewhat, but I always have to leave and forget something. But I like to make sure that my pieces are all the same size, because otherwise I get real big ones and real small ones. So I usually do these about wait a minute. Tear this. Okay, 135. I think we do about 195, don't we? 148. Not quite sure. Okay, let's say if we do 135. Okay, 135. Not sure. You know, I'm not sure. So put this on here like this. Okay. No wonder. You know why? There we go. Okay, so let's say it's okay, we're back. All right, now what we do is we're gonna punch this down. Get some coffee in there. Punch this down. Okay, and then we're going to cut this into 8 pieces. So we're going to go, I usually cut it halfway, and then it doesn't really matter because we're going to put them on the scale. Okay. And we kind of want about 4.0. Okay, that one's 4.0. .0, 4.0, enjoy small. I do this because if I don't, I'll get big ones and then little ones, and okay, 4.0. .0. .0. 4.0. 4.0. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now what we're going to do is I need to show you how we roll these up. Okay, so we're going to pick one up and we're just going to fold it over onto itself, kind of like so. See how we're just folding it over? And then back here, we're just going to pinch it to make sure it's all solid. Then you're just going to take it, roll it with the palm of your hand, roll it out a little bit, and then you can see the back is all pinched and the front. And you're just going to put that on your parchment paper in your pan. Okay, we're going to take another one, push it back underneath itself. And there's no wrong way to do this. I mean, just however you get it. And you'll get, as you get going, and you just want to pinch it in the back. Make sure it's surrounded. Let me do this over here. Maybe you can kind of see more. There we go. And just roll it around on itself. And then pinch it off in the back, and it's rounded in the front. Okay, do you like that? That one on there. Okay, turn it over till you got a ball formed. Nice little round ball. Okay, take the back, pinch it off. Make sure it's all together. Like so. Then you're just going to roll it with the palm of your hand, the pinch side down, because that's what you do when you're trying to kind of do the pinch side down. Okay. Take it again, fold it over, fold it over, fold it over. This dough is just so soft and so nice. These buns are just so awesome. Okay, just gonna roll it around a little with the palm of my hand. There you go. Okay, again, roll it over, turn it over, turn it over. Just till you got a nice ball. Pinch off this in the back. Make sure it's all pinched down. Roll it with your hand. So you got a nice ball there, and the back is all good. that one there. Okay, turn this over. But you kind of get the hang of it. It's pretty easy. And like I said, there's no wrong way to do this. However you do it, just make sure you pinch it off back here so you don't have any opening. And then roll it around. You see the back. You can see the front. It's all good. Around. Put on there. Just got 2 more to do. Your family's gonna love you for these buns. I'm not kidding you. Especially if you're hamburger junkies like we are. My grandkids love hamburgers. Okay, so you roll that around. Now we're gonna do this one. Roll it over. This is my 3rd batch of these. Okay, so there we go. Back side, front side. Okay, here you have them. I usually do 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that's all going. We put them on parchment paper in our. Oh, I got it right here. Now we got to cover these. Them up like that. I'm gonna probably okay, we're gonna set these aside for another hour till they double in size, okay? And then we'll come back and we will bake them up. I'm gonna put them back in my oven with my light. And let those sit for about an hour. And I was gonna show you. It's like I said, I made several, but I'll show you when they come out too. But this is what they're gonna look like. They're gonna be so good, and your family's gonna love these. They're just gonna love these. But these are going in my freezer now. This is 15 here because I ate one last night. I decided to make me a burger and eat one last night because they were really good. And I just could not look at those, keep looking at them without eating me a burger. We love burgers in this house, all of us. We just love burgers. But this is a much better way to eat a burger. You know, we no longer shop in the grocery stores. I don't know, I've really... I learned from Acre Homestead this year that I could actually buy my meat from a rancher, and I just didn't ever realize that. So we did buy a half a cow and half a hog. We picked our meat up January 5th, my mother's birthday. And, well, actually we picked it up on the 6th. I went to my Aunt Mary's on the 5th. So, in Phoenix. And it's just the best meat that you could ever buy. You can't buy this in the store. It is such a fine quality and a high quality. You just can't, and you notice it immediately. Oh my goodness, even the grandkids. I'll tell you, you notice it immediately. The meat is so good. Take like the hog chorizo. You know, we love chorizo, but I quit buying it a few years back because the grease, it was just so much, it was just swimming in grease. It was just, oh my God, I can't feed us this anymore. So when I got the half a hog and the half a beef, I had some chorizo, and we love chorizo. So I thought, well, let's try it. So I tried that chorizo and I could not believe it. There was no grease. There was nothing to drain off. It was just, it was just unbelievable. The same with the hamburger. You know, there's nothing to drain off. It's just, it just fries up perfectly, you know. And I just love it. And then I learned from Acre Homestead again about Azure Standard. And so now I buy all the rest of my groceries from Azure Standard. They don't ship, but they send a truck and they drop off once a month. And so yeah, I buy all our fruits and vegetables and cheeses and some dairy, some stuff like that. I buy all of that from Azure Standard. The only thing I do have to stop at the dollar store to get our milk and if the kids want chips. Some of the things we don't really eat much anymore. We don't eat a lot of chips anymore, but once in a while I let them grab a bag. They like those hot onion ones. But, you know, I don't buy pop anymore. We no longer drink pop. We no longer, I had to go into, okay, I'll tell you why I don't like to go shop in the grocery store. I had to cancel my order from Azure last month because I had a couple of situations happen. I didn't know what that was going to cost me. I figured it was going to be kind of expensive, so I just went ahead and canceled my order. But so I did have to go get a few things from the grocery store this last month. I had to get some cabbage because I canceled my order. So cabbage for my brisket, you know, for not Valentine's Day, but for St. Patrick's Day. And then I got a bag of potatoes. And let me tell you, out of a 10-pound sack of potatoes, I was able to salvage about 8 potatoes. It was that bad. Michaela wanted me to take it back, but I sent it all the way to Albertsons for a sack of potatoes. So we just threw them out. But yeah, about 8 potatoes is what we got to keep out of a 10-pound sack. There was just pieces of just rot thrown in there, you know, to make the whole bag go bad. It's just crazy. And then it's very scary. Like this month, 3 things were tampered with. First, it was the eye drops. You know, there was actually a few people, I understand, lost their actual eyeballs. A lot of people went blind. And that just, we don't use eye drops. Thank goodness. It seems like the Lord always protects us. Whatever it is, we don't buy it or eat it, you know, especially now. But the next thing that went bad was spices. I heard that, I don't know what brand it was or anything. I just heard it was a name brand. The spices were bad. Well, I buy my spices in bulk, so I don't really buy much spices anymore because they're all in bulk. I have them all. And I use tons, so I have a lot of spices. And then the last thing that went bad was just a few days ago, I heard the hamburger. It was like over 4,000 pounds of hamburger had to go back because the hamburger had, was contaminated. So the market scares me. I just shudder every time I have to walk in it, you know. And luckily this year, since January, I did one haul in January because the kids wanted to make some sushi. And so I went and got some fresh, some things for their sushi making. And then when I had to cancel my March order, I had to go get a couple of things. But I just don't like to shop in the grocery store. I like to get my meat from my local rancher. And my local rancher is CPR Meats. They are located in Chosice, I guess it is, Arizona. But they do go to Phoenix, and so I just meet them in Phoenix, and then I get to visit my aunt. But that's really just a once-a-year thing. I do believe this meat is going to last me and my 2 grandkids for the year. So, but it's great meat. It's just you can't, you notice it right off. Even with the roast, it's just like you notice it right off, you know. I made some chili beans the other day with 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of pork and then everything else. And my granddaughter doesn't usually like to eat foods like that have a lot of different foods in them. But anyway, on the way to take her to school the next day, I said, oh, those chili beans were so good. And her eyes got big as silver. She goes, I know. She said, I had 2 bowls. I said, you did? She said, yeah, it was really good. So she, you know, she knows this meat is just, it's really, really good. If anybody can, I recommend you to get it, you know, from a rancher or from even Butcher Box. I'm gonna thinking about signing up to them. I think it's Butcher Box for fish and for some chicken. You know, I'm a canner, as well as you know, so I have tons and tons of chicken canned up. But, you know, I like it in the freezer, too, because my grandson likes, you know, he likes they're like fingers, I guess. I don't know what you call them. You know, I forget right now, but the chicken, the chicken breast cut up into fryers, you know. And he loves those. So, you know, I would like to get a little more chicken. I don't want to buy it in the store. You know, so I thought that might be a good option, the Butcher Box. So for me, and I also like to get some fish because we like fish. But yeah, that's what it is. We're kind of doing a no groceries, no April, May. I know there will be none. As long as I get my jour order, then I don't need to go to the grocery store because to me it's just. It's not good food. But I know some people have to go to the grocery store. It takes a little bit to get away from them, you know. But it can be done, even with the jour standard, you know, even if you just do the jour standard, because there again, you can just tell the difference in your products. Like okay, if you buy frozen corn in the grocery store, when you go to cook it, you got to beat it on the counter. You know, you're beating it to try to get, you know, some of it broken off for you to heat up, you know. But when you I bought a 20-pound box of corn, and not one kernel is stuck to another kernel. You can just put your fingers in there and run it up. Like, it's just crazy. I just never seen anything like that. The same with the strawberries, the red raspberries, the blueberries, blackberries, all of it. It's just, there's not a one frozen to another. It's just, it's beautiful fruit. Now we did do 20 pounds of apples. I had to peel, core, and slice all those by myself. On the next ones, the girls are going to be helping me, I'll tell you that. Because that was a whole day, all-day project doing that apple pie filling. But, you know, it's nice. This month we're going to be doing peach pie fillings. We're good for, you know, cobblers and whatever you want, pies, turnovers, when I'm on pancakes, whatever. So I like to keep all my fruits in pie fillings. This month we'll be doing pecan pie filling, peach pie filling, and cherry. And we'll be doing some cherry because I have raspberry, blueberry. Oh, and we'll be doing blackberry this month. I have all that on my shelf, so it's really nice. You know, you want to do crepes, you just get your crepes and your cream cheese, and you got your fruits. Or we do turnovers. I also do with the apples, not just pies and that, but I also do apple crisps. This is really good. Like, I'll make an apple crisp, a big one, and then I let the kids eat out of it for a day. And then I take 1 cup servings and I freeze them up in the, using the, you know, the sealer. And then they can just pull them out of the freezer and then defrost them for 2 minutes and then put some ice cream on it. So that's really good too. So, well, I guess I will see you back here in about half an hour. Okay, friends, here we are back. Now we're going to take our saran wrap off. These have doubled in size again. I'm just going to pull a couple of them back a little bit because they're kind of touching. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these. See how they have doubled in size. So now we're going to give them a little egg wash bath. And we're just going to, let me put you down here a little more. Just going to wash them. This egg yolk. This is what gives them a really nice golden color. Which we love. God, these buns are so good. My grandkids are going to be so happy because I did three recipes of it. I had taped it last night once, so I wouldn't have had to do this one, but my TV was on really loud. It's funny how you don't notice those types of things when you're talking. But anyway, I just decided to do it over so you didn't have to be subjected to that. I know. Okay, and then what we do is I'm going to take a few poppy seeds and sesame seeds. I usually start with the sesame and I just put them over. And you can do either sesame or poppy, but we like both. So I do a little bit of both. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to put these in the oven for 15 minutes at 375. And I've already preheated my oven. So there you go. Alexa, set a 15-minute timer.
Second timer, 15 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, cancel my 30-minute timer.
30-minute timer canceled.
Okay, I'm going to put these away. And I guess I will see you, put you up here a minute, see you back here in 15 minutes and we will pull them out and they're just so good. These are the best buns you'll ever eat. And like I said, they're not that hard to make. The worst part is the 2 hours of rising, 1 and 2. But, that goes with all bread, I guess. You can't have good homemade bread without the rising. So I'll see you back in a few minutes. I decided to come on back and show you what I do with my buns after they're made. I get, I think this is a quart bag. And I will put 2 buns in my quart bag. And then I'm going to seal them. Now I do not, when I seal these, I do not vacuum seal them because it will crush my buns. And so we don't want that. So I go ahead and vacuum seal them. And so they're completely sealed, no air can get in. And I seal those all up like that. And then you can take them out. Our other buns are just about done, so we're going to seal this last bag here. That in there. In between. Okay. We're going to seal it. So we have 9. So we will have 1. I'll just leave that one out for Austin's lunch. I know he's gonna want a burger. in. Let me check this one because yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna have to seal this one over. I can always tell when it. Alexa, let's do that one more time. Alexa, stop. You want to be able to see that line running all the way through. There we go. That's better. Okay, so we got one here. Alright, so let's put this aside. That over here. I just don't want that to hit my. Wait. Alright, let me get my pot holder. I need new pot holders, actually. Oh man, these smell so good. Oh, so we gotta let these cool. Once they have cooled completely, we will slice them open and then get them also in the